Good afternoon, it's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll join reporter Michelle Coates on the Business Beat for a look at the upcoming Buy Local Expo organized by the Volusia Chamber Alliance. Then we'll hear from health reporter Stephanie Strong of the Volusia County Health Department as she brings us her report about the Star Center. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron as he sits down with Votran General Manager Steve Scherer. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Volusia County will soon acquire more than 18,000 acres from the St. Johns River Water Management District. Officials with the district recently approved a plan based on a year-long assessment of its conservation lands. From that assessment, the district proposed to donate more than 25,000 acres to local governments, including 18,045 acres in Volusia, mostly to the county.
This strategy is part of an overall review of all the lands owned by the Water Management District, which amount to somewhere just in excess of 600,000 acres. Over the last year, we've looked very carefully at the entire inventory of those 600,000 acres to identify whether any of those properties no longer need to be held by the Water Management District, or are there alternative uses we should consider for those. In the course of that review, we've identified some really important conservation lands where our partners, such as Volusia County, have stepped up and said we'd be willing to take on that responsibility and maintain them locally. And so that's what we're talking about today in our implementation.
Recently, representatives from the district took local leaders on a walking tour from Lake Monroe Park to Gemini Springs Park, both Volusia County parks that contain land owned by the district.
Well, you know, the county owns two significant parks in this area, Gemini Springs and Lake Monroe. And St. Johns River Water Management District owns an adjoining piece of property that our trails run through. And so when they're evaluating their property, they offered about 1,000 acres to the county for us to take in as ownership that will bring our two park sites together and adjoin them. And then we'll take over the management responsibility, and it will make it one large park for Southwest Volusia, for all of Volusia, actually for Central Florida region. This is a beautiful, beautiful place to come and recreate.
The district would keep conservation easements on the land to prevent it from being developed. While the St. Johns River Water District recently approved the plan, each transaction will come back to the board for a separate vote. 5 cold-stunned loggerhead sea turtles were flown to Florida by a Coast Guard plane last week, then transported to the county's Marine Science Center, or MSC, in Ponce Inlet. The sea turtles are part of a cold-stunned influx hitting the New England Aquarium in Boston. The aquarium, which has rescued more than 150 sea turtles, turned to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Florida Wildlife Commission for help. Assistance is being given by a consortium of Florida facilities. FWC is coordinating the distribution of the sea turtles to the Volusia County Marine Science Center, SeaWorld, the Florida Aquarium, the Mote Marine Laboratory, and the Loggerhead Marine Life Center.
And they are cold-stunned turtles, and so what that means is that they were in water with internal body temperatures down into the 40s. And so that is extremely cold for a sea turtle. And so it's going to be a somewhat lengthy process to get them back up and healthy enough for release.
What treatment will they receive at the Marine Science Center?
Well, first off, we'll do a full assessment. So we're looking at radiographs, taking x-rays of them, and blood workups, and taking the information that we've just gotten from the veterinarians up at the New England Aquarium. We'll be taking their assessments, making our own, and making a treatment plan for the turtles.
The Marine Science Center is part of a stranding network of facilities that accept and rehabilitate stranded sea turtles and sea birds. In 2010, when the water temperatures dropped abruptly in the Indian River Lagoon and Mosquito Lagoon systems in Brevard County, the FWC rescued more than 1,000 cold-stunned sea turtles. More than 60 cold-stunned sea turtles ranging in size from 2 pounds to 200 pounds were admitted to the critical care unit of the MSC. For more information, log on to marinesciencecenter.com. Laurel wilt disease is deadly to trees in the laurel family, including red bay and avocado trees. Laurel oaks are not included. Laurel wilt disease is caused by a fungus that stops the flow of water in host trees, causing the leaves to wilt. The fungus is carried into trees by the red bay ambrosia beetle. While there is no cure and no method for controlling the fungus or the beetle, there is not a tree removal mandate by Volusia County. Some residents have reported that they've been approached by a select group of tree trimmers who told them about a false mandate.
The symptoms of a laurel wilt disease on a red bay tree are the leaves will turn brownish to a blackish in color, and they will stay and maintain on the tree. They will not drop off, and you'll start to see portions of the tree die. And in latter stages of this disease, you may actually see pieces of sawdust protrude out from the trunk or the limb of the tree about the thickness of a toothpick.
Red bay trees make up 16% of the forest system in Volusia County and are a food source for many birds and wildlife.
The ambrosia beetle originally is native to the Far East. Laurel wilt disease was first found in Volusia County in 2008. It was brought in on some piece of wood, and that's the major way that this disease has been transported throughout the southeast. It came into the port of Savannah in 2002 and is now spread throughout the southeast. But wood transporting is the main way that this disease is spreading.
Other trees at risk include the sassafras, camphor, silk bay, swamp bay, pond spice, and pond berry. There is no cure for the disease and no method for controlling the fungus or the beetle, but researchers are testing pesticides and repellents. For more information about laurel wilt disease, call the University of Florida Volusia County Extension Office at 386-822-5778.
Hello, I'm Joshua Wagner, Volusia County Council, District 2. If you are planning a construction project on your home or business, make sure your contractor is licensed and has obtained the proper permits. Obtain an estimate in advance and do not put money down before the work is completed. If you have a complaint, please contact the county's contractor licensing office. We can verify if someone you are hiring is licensed to do the work they claim. For more information, visit volusia.org.
And now we join Michelle Coates for the Business Beat at the Volusia Chamber Alliance's second annual Buy Local Expo, which this year will be at the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach. A larger venue is needed after such response to the inaugural Buy Local Expo held at the Daytona International Speedway Sprint Garage last year.
I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat. Today, all 7 chambers of commerce from across Volusia County have come together at the Ocean Center for the second annual Buy Local Expo. The day-long event is a one-stop shop for developing business-to-business relationships, as well as appealing to the thousands of Volusia County consumers shopping local businesses for the holidays. We spoke to Larry McKinney, CEO of the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce.
We started early this morning at 10 o'clock. The booths got set up at 7 o'clock. 10 o'clock we opened the doors. At noon we held a luncheon with Daryl Toll, the CEO of Florida Hospital. He did a great job talking about health care, not really focusing on Obama, but he did talk a little bit about regulation, what it means to local businesses, what it's going to mean to your employees, what the bottom line effect is. And I think he was very well received.
Last year's event was such a success that booth space sold out and the event was moved to the larger Ocean Center. With Microsoft added to the lineup of sponsors, Organizers expect a larger turnout, hoping to surpass the 1,200 attendance mark set last year.
The Buy Local initiative is all about keeping the dollars in Volusia County. You know, buying from local businesses helps in so many different ways. It's all about keeping local citizens employed. You know, if every business would just hire one person, we wouldn't have an unemployment rate at all in Volusia County.
Buy Local Volusia is an effort to encourage consumers to think local when considering where to make purchases and to buy local whenever possible. The reasons for support run the gamut, from economic to environmental.
Buying local is really what it's all about. You got to keep the money local to strengthen your economy.
The top 10 reasons often cited for buying local include keeping those dollars local. For every $100 spent locally, $60 to $70 stay in the local economy. Shopping locally supports new jobs, helps the environment through reduced transport efforts, conserves tax dollars through a decreased need for infrastructure, increases customer service and community support. Local business owners are less likely to leave the community and are more invested in its future.
A lot of small businesses are in Volusia County. We have 13,000, 14,000, depending on who you're asking. Most of those are small businesses, employ less than 50 people. It mirrors the economy around the country. You know, 98% of all the businesses are small businesses with less than 50 employees, many of them less than 10 or even 5 employees. So these are family-owned businesses. You know, keeping them strong, keeping their balance sheet strong is important for so many reasons, because they in turn spend their money locally, you know, getting haircuts and going to the movie theaters and all of that kind of stuff.
Buy Local campaigns often alert a community about gaps in the local market. A local producer can add special touches to a needed product to make it unique and appropriate to the locale. Another argument for buying local is that it enhances the velocity of money in the area. If currency passes through more hands faster, more people benefit. The Alliance also introduced the Buy Local Gold Benefits Card and provided every attendee a free one. More than 10,000 will be distributed over the next 90 days. And if your business isn't a part of the program, it should be. Hundreds of local businesses across Central Florida have participated in the program.
So this is a way to expand it. It's not only member to member, it's member to consumer. It's about building loyalty. This is all about just getting people in there immediately. And there's no money to be made by the chambers on this. The money is being made by consumers and customers coming into the business. So we're trying to generate the revenue stream for the local businesses and help them improve.
The underlying message to everyone today is to encourage people to support friends and neighbors by keeping their money local. Whether that means buying more locally grown foods for their holiday meals, shopping local markets and unique stores in Volusia County, or finding a one-of-a-kind experience to share with loved ones. Bottom line, think local, shop local, buy local. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat.
For more information about the Volusia Chamber Alliance and the Buy Local Expo, you can log on to buylocalvolusiaexpo.com. Helping the homeless just comes naturally to the leaders of Halifax Health Ministries. When people are in need, they can count on a hot meal and a warm place to sleep. It's especially tough when little children are involved. Stephanie Strong takes us to the Star Center to get an up-close look at what's being done to help those in need.
You may not have to worry about where your next meal is coming from or where your children will sleep tonight, but those concerns are a reality for some families in Volusia County. Those families find comfort in the Star Center in Daytona Beach, operated by Halifax Urban Ministries.
First off, we just look up and down the streets of Daytona and you can see that there is a great need. You look at employment figures and you know that things have increased dramatically. In fact, recently there's been a study done and it shows that there's now 5,200 homeless people in Volusia County and over 20,000 living below the poverty line. And we're here to help those people. We know that the homeless diet, which we work hard to improve upon with good healthy food, creates a lot of diabetes and high blood pressure. And we're fortunate to offer services here to help with both that, their physical health and their mental health.
Good morning, I'm Nurse Jenny. Welcome to North Street Clinic. And let me show you where I treat my patients. As you can see, I have pretty much a full-fledged clinic here. I have 2 tables where I can see patients. I have everybody in the community is welcome to come here, and I can help them with diabetic teaching, learning about high blood pressure. If they have sutures or staples that need to be removed, I can help them with that, and that keeps them from having to go to the emergency room to have something like that done. Also, a lot of our patients have wounds, and I can help them with wound care. They have all kinds of little accidents out there. You know, they fall off their bicycles, they get bumps and scrapes and bruises, and I help them with those things.
The Star Center has a number of services for the homeless, such as providing direct services, providing daily meals at noon, and providing sleeping arrangements for families with children. Those working with the homeless say they still notice a societal misperception or stigma associated with being homeless. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Volusia County Health Department.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com.
We're the Castillo Family Station at JFC Naples in Naples, Italy. We just want to wish all our family and friends back home in Florida a Merry Christmas. We love you, miss you, and can't wait to see you again.
Time now to head into the studio to join our Community Information Director, Dave Byron, for a chat with Votran General Manager, Steve Shearer.
Well, thank you, Amber, and happy holidays, everyone. Perhaps a sign of tough economic times, Votran, the county's public transit system, recorded in excess of 3.9 million boardings in the last fiscal year. This is the 5th year in a row ridership has increased. And speaking of Votran, the system's colorful trolleys are back on the streets for another season. So we thought this would be a great time to catch up on what's been going on with our public transit system. So we're very pleased to have with us in the studio Votran's General Manager, Steve Shearer. Steve, thanks for being with us. Happy holidays.
My pleasure. Thank you. Same to you.
Hey, as you look at the ridership concluding the last fiscal year, which ended September 30th, some pretty impressive numbers. Virtually all categories of ridership are up, Steve.
That's for sure. Yeah, we saw just short of 3.6 million boardings on our fixed route service, a little under 300,000 boardings on our paratransit gold service. Fixed route ridership was up nearly 6%.
Would it be a natural assumption that these numbers are as a result of the tough economic times?
I certainly think that you can attribute some of that increase to the tough economic times. A lot of our customers, like you said, depend on Votran as their only opportunity for transportation. And so with the economy the way it is, it makes it difficult for people to keep up with car payments and insurance and the ever fluctuating cost of a gallon of gasoline. It makes it difficult for people to provide transportation in any way other than using Votran.
It seems, Steve, in talking with your predecessor, Ken Fisher, and, having talked about Votran for quite some time, it seems like when gas prices get to be about $3.50 a gallon, that seems to be the tipping point for a lot of people to stop driving and to start use public transportation. Is that pretty much what you would think?
Yeah, I would think there certainly is a tipping point.
Right.
Is it 350? Is it 375? I'm not sure, but it definitely, as prices go up for a gallon of gas, the ridership tends to follow.
For those folks, Steve, that don't follow the inner workings closely of county government, give us kind of a general overview of the services that you provide. Tell us a little bit about Votran.
Well, Votran is a county-wide public transit provider for Volusia County.
Right.
And we provide a number of different services ranging from our fixed route service, which is the big buses that you see on set routes throughout the county.
Right.
And then we also offer a door-to-door gold service, our paratransit service for people that have some sort of disability that prevents them from utilizing the fixed route. We also have a van pool service. We provide emergency transportation in the event of storms, emergency evacuation movements, and that type of thing. So we provide a variety of different services.
Steve, obviously you charge a fare to ride Votran public transportation, but those fares don't come anywhere near what it costs to run the system. Tell us a little bit about how you fund Votran.
Well, Votran is funded a variety of different ways. A good amount of our funding comes from grants, whether they're through the Federal Transit Administration or grants that we receive from FDOT. We do generate a significant amount of revenue from our fares that we collect, advertising revenues for the advertisements that you see on the vehicles.
Right.
And then, of course, a good portion of our budget comes from a general fund transfer from the county's general fund.
Yeah, that's really the point I was getting at, is that when you add up all of your revenue generating opportunities, whether it be federal, state grants, fares, what have you, then there's a difference that has to be made up through, as you say, a general fund tax transfer from the county's general fund. How much is that general fund transfer?
For the budget year that we just started, it's about $7.4 million.
And Steve, would it be pretty typical to assume that most public transit systems really don't generate a profit, even those huge systems?
That's definitely safe to say, yes.
So if we look at Votran being essentially a social service, essentially carrying people that don't have any other transportation options, when you look at the county's contribution to fund Votran, really if there wasn't the taxpayer support, a good many people just absolutely wouldn't be able to get to the doctors, wouldn't be able to get to their jobs or whatever, and so there would be obviously an impact to the public, perhaps in a different way financially.
No doubt, no doubt. If your residents, within the county can't get to their employers,
right,
can't get to medical appointments or to grocery shop,
right,
or, basic things in life like visiting friends and family,
right,
there would certainly be a charge associated with that, or a cost associated with their inability to get around.
You were before the county council not too long ago, and you were able to get a state grant to kind of fund some additional services starting next year, I think, on the busy US 1 routes in the Daytona Beach area. That's kind of a significant point to discuss just for a minute, because those two routes, as I understand it, up and down US 1, standing room only. I mean, you're over capacity on those routes.
That's correct, and it causes challenges for the bus operators to stay on time.
Right.
It can cause safety issues for those customers that are standing up. And you're correct. We were able to secure funding from the Florida Department of Transportation at 100% funding. FDOT funded the service expansion 100% to increase the frequency of service on our routes 3 and 4 to 30-minute service instead of 1-hour service, which we're operating right now.
We mentioned the trolleys. In the last year or so, Votran has been able to work with other community partners to try to get kind of a partnership going in funding the seasonal trolley service. My understanding is the trolleys are back on the street for the holidays and will be continuing through the high season. Tell us a little bit about this partnership.
Yeah, the Trolley Partnership Program was something that Votran was actually recognized for with an award from the Florida Public Transit Association at their recent meeting,
right,
for innovation and creativity in funding this program.
Right.
Whenever the budget was being created for the current year that we're in, as a way to look for ways to create efficiencies within the budget, the trolley program was discussed, and whether or not it was going to be continued depended upon Votran and the staff getting out and creating partnerships with with several cities, as well as the Halifax Area Advertising Authority.
Right.
Daytona Beach Shores, Ormond Beach, and the Hob Board all contributed financially to keep that trolley service on the streets.
Right, along with a contribution from the county.
That's correct.
Hey, I want to just touch on something that's coming down the road. We know that that commuter rail service is going to start, before you know it. I know that you and your team at Votran are busy trying to plan to serve the first station in DeBerry and that sort of thing. What is the implication to Votran generally to be able to serve the new commuter rail system?
Well, Votran and the staff are busy working on finalizing the feeder routes that'll service the stations. And there's a cost associated with providing that
Right.
service. It's
Right.
additional service above and beyond what we operate today.
Right.
And it's service that'll be operated during peak hours.
Right.
But additional service typically requires additional vehicles. In this case, different types of fare collection equipment that'll be
Right.
operated on those routes. So there's certainly some cost associated with providing that service, but we hope that that our feeder service will be used heavily by those commuters that are heading down into Orlando for work during the week.
Right. Steve, my understanding is in talking with you is that you're working with Lynx, which is the transit system in the Orlando area. So there's a kind of a uniform pass or ticket system whereby a person could take Votran, maybe jump on the commuter rail system, then maybe get to Orlando and hop on a Lynx bus to get wherever they want to go. So you're working on kind of a seamless system with those three entities.
That's what we're working on trying to do. You know, the fare policy with FDOT and all the partners for commuter rail is still in the development stages. Yeah. We're trying to finalize that fare policy as we speak, but the intent is to try to be as seamless as possible to where someone can ride the Votran route to the station, hop on the Sunrail train, get off, transfer to a Lynx bus to get their final destination.
Well, Steve, I want to thank you for sharing the information. It sounds like things are going great guns at Votran. All passenger numbers are up, which I think, you know, it's gratifying, you know, to see the public use of public transit. I know you and your folks work really hard to provide, you know, a quality opportunity for the people that need transportation. So it must give you guys a little bit of a good feeling when you see those numbers going up.
Definitely, and it feels good to be able to help those folks who otherwise wouldn't be able to work, wouldn't be able to visit family and friends and that type of thing. So it's certainly gratifying for us to see those numbers increase, and it tells us that we're doing something right. And but at the same time, we want to continue to improve on the services that we provide and continue to be out there helping those folks get where they need to go.
Well, Steve, I want to again thank you for sharing the information, good news on the passenger numbers for the last fiscal year. I want to wish you happy holidays.
Hey, you too. And it's my pleasure being here.
Our guest today, Steve Scherer. He's the general manager at Votran Public Transportation. If you want more information on Votran, all you have to do is go to Votran.org. And with that, happy holidays, everyone, and back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to Volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to Volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. And last, we'd like to invite you to the next Volusia County Council meeting, which is scheduled for Thursday, December 20th at 9 a.m. in the Council Chambers in DeLand. Public participation is welcome. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.